What's up guys, CB Bricks here, and I am finally back with another LEGO custom creation. Today I'm going to be showcasing the Stalker from Horizon Zero Dawn. Now the reason I went ahead and built something again from Horizon Zero Dawn is because those are really some of my favorite things to build back when I was really in the YouTube grind, and now that I'm kind of coming back and coming back to some of these old creations and trying to gain a passion again, I thought it was a good exercise of the mind to go back to doing something that I really loved before, and I think this was a good turnout for that. Now in the actual game, the Stalker might be one of the most annoying enemies to go up against, and that's pretty much because of its ability to turn invisible and shoot you with lasers, and that's just completely irritating. If you guys have played the game, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. Another thing, they usually came around in packs. Just knocked out his leg, but they usually were in packs of 2 to 3, sometimes even 4, and that just made it 10 times worse, honestly. But that's just how they were in the game, and even though they were so annoying, they were such a cool thing with kind of like this jaguar silhouette. And I really enjoyed the style, and I thought it was a good idea to go back and actually try to construct one of these, as I never got the chance to before. Before I get into some of the major details, I kind of wanted to just get out of the way the articulation, because I felt like that was one of the most important things to get with a MOC like this, just because of its very iconic shaping and poses that it needs to get into. So like I said, it's a very Jaguar-esque kind of silhouette, so you need to get those kind of feline-esque legs, and I think I did a pretty good job with the shaping there, kind of the two dual hinged legs, and it looks pretty good. I also use those joid bodies at the bottom to do that. Both of these have full articulation where they go in and out at the hip. They also have a little bit of stud friction there that can cause a little bit of rotation below the hip. Really not intended, but it works. There's also the hinge there, as well as a hinge there, and a hinge at the paw. You also have similar articulation up top, I'm sure you can guess. There's also at the waist, there is a hinge that goes up and it has rotation due to stud friction. And I thought that was very important to get that kind of concave look going around the waist. In the head, there is a ball joint right here at the base of the neck. That way you can get a lot of rotation. And you have a head tilt due to the nature of these parts, as well as a hinge going up and down. In the tail, you have full articulation every single part. I thought that was very important. And a lot of the inspiration for this entire MOC just came from those parts because they have a very nice mechanical aesthetic to them. There's a ball joint at the base, so they can go everywhere. And yeah, that's just kind of what that does. And you can get it in whatever pose you could conceivably want. Now, as I mentioned before, I feel like the shaping of this was the most important part to really nail, to get the full look of the Stalker on point. I already mentioned about the tail, and that's kind of where the inspiration for this whole MOC started. And I think it really does capture how it looks in the game, because that's one of the most iconic parts from it. Now, the tail is this kind of school bus yellow. I know in some communities they call it Keat orange color blade, and I think that has a really good shape to it. Color's a little off though, and I kind of wish it matched the yellow here. But if I did have a yellow version of that, I would definitely switch that up. Now, really, probably the most important part to get was the shaping around the body. Now, I have this kind of it has the wide hips, the wide shoulders, both at the same distance apart, but it kind of has this thin waist, really thin waist, that goes into a more broader shoulder towards the back and the chest area. And that was very important for me to get. It has this kind of ribbed circular detailing around the middle, also very important. And I think the textures here look pretty good, and some of the shaping around, you can definitely see from this horizontal view what it's supposed to look like. Up here at the head, I think I did a pretty good job with this head shaping. It looks similar to my Watcher design that I made, I think it was 3 years back or so. A very popular video. I use these binocular eyes to get the kind of that mechanical look with the multiple optical components there, and that kind of, it really does complete that look for a mechanical head. The shaping is definitely not ideal. It's kind of it's a very difficult shape to get for this at this scale. But I wish I had those in black, and that's probably the most important, or the one of the biggest things that I wish I had is those binocular pieces in black. I do not have those. The neck is also a little too thick, and it's a little choppy. There's some gaps there I really don't like. But I think with some modification, I could probably change that up. The legs are another thing that I think I would change a little bit if I went back to do some changing. And that's just because they're not very stable. And you saw in the intro to this video that it kind of breaks off because it's only held on by one stud on each side. Now, really what I would probably get are those inverted 1x2 smooth or like curved pieces, arch pieces in black, just to kind of go along the back, and that would provide an extra stud of stability as well as some extra coverage and to add to the shaping. But besides that, I think the shape is nailed pretty spot on. Another important thing was the components in the game. A lot of these machines have components that are important to capture. So you have this large, almost backpack-esque sort of component up top, and a lot of those are denoted by the gray and the yellow parts. So this one up top, I think it has a really good shaping. If you look at it from the game, I think it looks pretty similar. I definitely had to do some creative liberty just because I don't have a lot of the pieces at this scale that would make it work. Back here, there's a component along the kind of back side, and I kind of approximated some of those. It had these curved, almost antennae looking parts off of the component in the back, and I kind of approximated that using these harpoon elements for minifigures. You know, I think it does its job. There's definitely supposed to be more of those, but it does its job in the sense that it provides that kind of that shaping. Now, I've seen that used in the community before on Horizon MOCs, and I think it's a pretty good use. There's also these components on the back that I think it has a pretty good angle, and you can adjust those however you want. So I know sometimes they look different and they move a lot in the actual game. So that's pretty much it for the shaping and what I was going for. I think I nailed it pretty well, but obviously there are some points that I could improve on, and probably one of the most or the biggest points that I would improve on would be getting some more ball joints, getting some more articulation, stabilizing this MOC. I'll also probably change some of the colors to black that I have in gray, but other than that, I think I nailed it pretty well. Now, overall, I'm pretty happy with the outcome of this MOC, and I think that's pretty much it for this video. So if you guys want to go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you guys think, and let me know for sure if you want a tutorial on this, because I know you guys love the tutorials for these smaller builds, and I'll definitely be willing to make a tutorial for this, and I'll make it come out next Sunday. So be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. But with that out of the way, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching and coming back to my channel. It means a lot to me. So I'll see you in the next one.